Hi, this is Ewan again. Today is Saturday. I forget the date, but I said that I would deliver the first yoga instruction video for those of you who signed up for my interactive, online interactive yoga classes. So I have been getting requests in on the types of videos to make. So I would just randomly target these requests. Today's video would be very much about strength. I like to build on the strength of the legs, especially if you haven't been out and about. So we want to work on the legs. I want to always tackle the core region, all four sides of the core. And of course, I always include twists in my classes. I did a video on hips, so we're not going to get so much into the hips today, although inevitably we will be working the hips. In terms of strengthening the movement, anytime it involves the hips and the legs, as well as a little bit of the stretching too. And we'll kind of just go ahead and see how things flow from one section to the next during the course of the next hour. Like always, have your props ready. And so I have my blocks here, my 2 blocks, and always having my strap. And if you're tight in the hips, I would also have a blanket of some sort available. I have my big bolster here. So if you have a bolster, please go ahead and grab it. We can use it later on for the relaxation portion. What I would like to do today as we start our practice in meditation is to evoke the qualities of Goddess Durga. Goddess Durga is the goddess of courage. She's the warrior goddess, and she rides on this really fierce tiger as she goes into battle. This is not the battle that we fight externally. These are battles that we fight internally. It could be various things. It could be fear related. It could be most things are fear related, so it started to trigger us. Some of us get really anxious, some of us get really depressed, self-doubt. So these are the battles that we fight, including the battle where there is a lack of will to do things, to get things done. A lot of times people have that lack of fear, lack of will associated with working the body, exercising, having a consistent practice, or it could be relating to your diet, your lifestyle. So these are also things we could work on to by evoking the goddess Durga. So let's get started. Just seated here. Instead of having the ankles crossed at the bones, most of us, when we cross the ankles, usually one knee is much higher than the other. Even if they are not that lopsided, you would still be putting that bone-to-bone compression, which will cut off movement of energy, cut off movement of blood. So what I prefer is to have one foot in front, one foot back. It doesn't matter which foot is in front because we'll switch in later. And you want to sit tall where the pelvis is upright. So instead of tilting forward, like so, instead of kind of tilting forward like this, you want to have your shoulders pretty much over the hips, drawing the shoulders up and back and anchoring them down the back. Okay, so also this is not this is actually, I think, my opinion, worse than this, because what you're doing is you're crunching up the entire front side. You're putting more strain on the muscles on your back, and you're closing in on the front. This is definitely not the qualities that we would want to evoke. You want to be Goddess Durga. Goddess Durga is full of courage. The heart stays open, and you keep your shoulders over the hips. Okay, so I'm going to turn and face you. And once you can sit up tall, and if you're tight, you need to sit propped up on a blanket or a block, something that allows you to lower the knees down. And so once you're seated here, eyes closed, let's take a few breaths here. Please continue to sit tall, shoulder blades down, chest up and broad, and create that lengthening through the crown of the head and your tailbone roots down. Not only is your tailbone rooting down, you want to draw the sit bones towards each other to create a firmer base. When you have a firmer base, you can then elongate and create more space up the chain. You're breathing in and out through your nose. Forehead, chin, chest alignment, which also means that we're not pivoting the chin out, which will strain your neck. Good. Now go ahead. You can gently open up your eyes, keep your gaze down, or keep your gaze to the horizon. And then we're going to circle the arms up a few times. What I notice a lot is that people look up and the chin will start to tilt up. It is fine if you keep the chin over the chest, but not fine when the chin starts to stick forward. Okay, so you do what feels best to keep that neck aligned over the spine. Inhaling, arms go up. Exhaling, palms down to the heart. Inhaling, circle the arms up. And exhaling, palms down to the heart. Inhaling, circle the arms up. And exhaling, palms down to the heart. Again, inhaling, keep your arms stretched up. Breathing in and out through your nose. And when you're stretching, you want to stretch through the pinky finger side, and you want to keep your shoulders down. Instead of having your shoulders up like this, you want to have your shoulders anchored down. Okay, the armpits, they need to suction back. Breathe. One more breath. Good. Elongating the spine. Let's warm up to a twist with a twist. The left shoulder tends to pull forward. You keep the left shoulder back. Lift. Sit up tall. Using your hands to help you with the spinal twist. Having your shoulders leveled. I'm doing my best to keep my shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, in my back instead of having it round forward like this. I'm going to pull it back. Okay. Crown of the head up. Then go ahead and turn your head to the left. And keep your gaze down. Both shoulders, they stay down the back. Try not to tense up your legs. So your inner hips are fairly relaxed. So what you're efforting is really drawing the sit bones towards each other. You can feel your glute muscles firm up. That's where you want to activate the muscles, and not so much in the inner hips. Go ahead and turn your head to the right. Look over the right shoulder, and I would keep the gaze down or to the horizon. I wouldn't turn the eyes up. That's too exciting, and it tends to strain the muscles in your eyes and in the forehead region. Use your muscles to move your bones. Slowly activate by twisting back. Let's go ahead and reset through the arms. Inhaling, arms go up. Exhaling, palms down. Inhaling, arms go up. And exhaling, palms down. Inhaling, arms go up. And exhaling, palms down. Let's go ahead and switch up the legs. I think my camera is a little bit tilted. Not sure. Okay, so go ahead, circle through the arms. Inhaling, exhaling, palms down. Inhaling, exhaling, palms down. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now keep the arms up, reaching up high. Good. Stretch up through the pinky finger side and plug down with the thumb side, always making sure there's plenty of room on the sides of your neck. Use the muscles with a little bit of resistance. Slowly twist to the left. Both hands come down. Take your time here and start to use some time to really feel how you're affecting the twist. And once you're into that end range of your twist, doesn't mean that you go 100%, but the end range that you decide. We're warming up, so I would stay shy from the edge. So even if I can twist 100%, I stay shy of it. Maybe I'm working at about 80% of my range here because I'm warming up. And as you're twisting, it's the right side of the rib cage that initiates the twist to the other side. So the left side of the rib cage has to pull back. Everything works in opposites. And I'm drawing my right shoulder back as much as possible instead of having my shoulder in front like this. And I'm tilting forward. Keep both shoulders pretty even. Sit tall. Your pelvis should still stay upright. Let me just show you a side view. Turn your head to the right shoulder. Turn your head to the right shoulder. Turn this way. And a few breaths here. Good. Now turn your head to the left shoulder. Look past the left shoulder. Look to the horizon or keep your gaze down. Two more breaths. This part is nice and spacious, not like here. Okay, sit tall. Use your hands to help you build that space in the spine, and then use your muscles also to help you stabilize your bones. And then go ahead and return back to center. Inhaling, reaching your arms up overhead. Exhaling, palms down to the heart. Inhaling, arms reach. And exhaling, palms down. Inhaling, arms reach. And exhaling, palms down. Good. One more time. Inhaling, arms reach. And stay here. Reach your arms up overhead. Go ahead and interlace your fingers and flip the palms up, drawing the shoulder blades back. Both sides of the spine super long. Nice deep breath in. Good. Shoulders down. And now we're going to side bend to the right. Keep pressing the palms up to the sky, inhaling. And then side bend to the right. Nice. Nice, deep breath in. Side bend. And start to create more space here on the left side. Starting from the top of the rib cage, working yourself down in terms of opening the space. As much as I can, I keep my arms straight and I suction my armpits back. I'm not going to pop my armpits forward and stretching my arms back. That's just too stressful for the spine and the shoulder area. Good. Reach, reach, and then slowly come back. Good. Release your arms, inhaling. We're going to stretch and palms down to the heart. Let's go ahead and reset, inhaling and exhale. One more time, inhaling. Good. Now have your arms together. Put the other thumb in front. We're going to flip the palms up. Breathing in and out through your nose. Nice deep breath in. Good. Now we're going to side bend to the left. Okay, side bend to the left. Inhaling. Stretch and bend to the left. Use your right heel of the wrist to help you stretch and pull over. Lots of space there, starting from the top of the rib cage. Open up. One more breath. And then slowly rise up. Good. Palms down to the heart. Good. And then reset through the arms. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling through the arms. Exhaling, palms down. One more time. Inhaling. And exhaling, palms down. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into a diamond. And sit tall. Just grab onto your shins. Roll the shoulders up and back. Lift through the chest. Nice deep breath in. Good. Let's start by opening up the heart. We'll do a pretty easy heart opening, and that is a tabletop. So let's go ahead and have the feet about hip width distance and the fingers pointing forward towards your heels. You want to have your wrists slightly set up behind your shoulders, so when you come up, your shoulders are right over your wrist. I'm going to use the strength of my legs to lift my hips up. So push, push, push with your feet, push with your hands, and then keep bringing the top of the thighs up to lift your hips. Nice deep breath in. And open through the chest. Open through the chest. Nice deep breath in. Hug the inner thighs towards each other. Open up through the chest. One more breath. And then slowly release. Come back down. Sit tall. Go ahead and hug your knees into the chest. Good. Let's go ahead and rise up on all fours. Shoulders over the wrist. Your knees are behind, your knees are lined up with your wrist and your toes are lined up with your knees. My thigh bones are pretty perpendicular to the floor, so I'm not gonna be like this, okay, on all fours. I try to, nor am I going to be out here like this. This is more of a modified side plank, modified plank. You want to have your knees forward, right below the hips. Okay, let's go ahead, go into a cow pose. Soften through those shoulders, shoulder blades. The inner shoulder blades, they roll into the back and down the back. So you can lift the chest up as you lift the tailbone up. Navel is pulled in. You're stretching through the front side of your body. Less is more. Let's not overdo it. Good. Now you're going to go into a cat pose. Wrap the shoulder blades away from each other. Suck the belly in. Tuck the tailbone down and in. Push the floor away from you with your hands and your feet. Get the quads up and engaged. One more breath. Good. Inhaling into cow pose. Soften through the shoulders, lifting the chest, and get the tailbone up. Breathing in and out through your nose. Let's try not to overdo it. You're stretching the front of your body muscularly. We're not creating compression here in the lower back. So you don't want to just dump your weight in the front down into the mat. Now go ahead, reverse it. Cat pose on your exhale. And we're going to hold here for about 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. And then go ahead, let's go on the breath, inhaling, cat pose, cow pose. Exhaling, cat. Inhaling, cow. Nothing overdone. And exhaling, cat. Go ahead, go into neutral spine. Sit back into a child's pose. Inhaling, rise up and back into a child's pose. Inhaling, use your legs. We're just warming up the joints here, shoulders, hips, and some of the minor joints, knees, wrists. I do my best to keep my spine pretty straight. Keep going for 2 more. And then go back into a child's pose. And stay there in child's pose. Good. Now please come back up. We're going to press up into a plank pose. Plank pose. Hold it here for about a minute. I don't have a clock close by, so I'm just gonna go by feel of how long a minute feels like. Don't let your hips drop when you're tired. If you're tired, just let your knees come down. Good. Now let's go ahead from here, inhaling, exhaling into downward facing dog. Adjust the distance of your feet to your hands. so that you're not doing a super long dog like this. I used to do this to just to maximize my stretch until I overstretched my Achilles here tendon, and then my leg, my right leg, I believe it was, started to feel funny, like a numbing sensation, and I was starting to feel pain. So ever since that, I kind of realized the cause and effect of overstretching. Now I keep my down dog much shorter than I'm able to go. And ideally, you're about 90 degrees in the body, where the angle there is right in the pelvis region, the hips. Good. One more breath. And then go back to a plank pose. We're going to work up the heartbeat by like jogging in place here for about a minute. And if this is too much for you, you lower your knees down and just stay here and work on strength. Stabilizing your body goes a long way. You don't need to keep doing that jogging, okay? I think that's probably a minute. Lower your knees down. Stay here. You can even make it a longer, modified plank by walking your knees back. From here, let's go into a child's pose. And come back up. Find all fours here. Go ahead and bring the left arm out to the side. You see, you don't want to have your shoulder lift up too much. Make sure it's pretty leveled. The shoulders are pretty leveled on both sides. And then bring the right leg back. Try to stabilize your body. I like to check because I tend to lower my right hip down when the right leg comes up. So I like to kind of check, but I'm not like mentally stuck on this point. You kind of just get it to where you feel like there's discipline, but you're not, attached to it so much, okay? And we're going to pump the left arm 10 times. Use the Kapalabhati breath. Good. Go ahead and bend the right leg. Grab the foot. If it's available, if it's not available, leave it alone. Now you go into an open heart position. And as much as you can, you try to keep your chest forward and up. And my right knee, instead of moving out to the side, I bring my right knee in. And then slowly release. Lower the right knee down. Push back. Child's pose. And then please rise back up. Good. Take a moment here. And if you feel like you're already tired, you definitely could take breaks, right? You build up to it. Whatever you can do, like if we're holding here in plank, if you can't hold it here with your knees up, you lower your knees down. If you can't hold it here with your knees down, you walk your knees up, and then maybe you can just sit back like this, but my spine is still straight. And if your wrists are hurting, you can come down here and do a modified low plank like this, okay? So let's go back. So choose one of these. If you're fine with it, if you've been practicing with me for a while, go back into a plank pose. We're going to jog in place for about 30 seconds. I think that's probably 30 seconds. Go into downward facing dog. If down dog is hard for you, you come back down into a child's pose. And when you're ready, come back up to a downward facing dog. Like I said, we want to build up to it. If you think that you're going to be able to easily do everything the first time you're doing it, that is just really unrealistic expectation. So build your strength, your flexibility, your discipline in small increments. Good. Go ahead and come back down on all fours. I do my best to stack my shoulders over my wrists, and then again, my thigh bones are pretty perpendicular to the floor. Then I'm going to bring my right arm out to the side, pushing the floor away from me, especially with my hand and my feet. Top of the feet down, or you tuck your toes under, doesn't matter. Shoulders are pretty even. Then go ahead and bring the left leg up. Pretend you're standing on the left foot. We're not going to have floppy foot. That's just unnecessary luggage, dead weight that you're carrying. Use your foot to help you tone and activate your entire leg. We're going to pump the right arm 30 times. Kapalabhati breath. Okay. Did I say 10 times? 30 times? Oh, I forgot. Okay. Let's go into child's pose. It's really weird speaking to the camera, by the way. I'm not used to it. Because when I look up, I see myself on a little tiny screen instead of seeing you all. It's weird. Okay, let's come back up. Go back here, bend the knee, grab the foot. Try to stabilize, push the floor away from you, and lift the chest. Lift the knee up. One more breath. Slowly release. Good. Come back down, child's pose, into a plank pose, inhaling, exhaling, downward facing dog. One more breath. And come back down. We're going to do a modified side plank. So try to get your right knee to line up with the right wrist. By the way, your hands, anytime your hands are on the floor, unless otherwise instructed, go to the downward facing dog foundation hand position, which would be the middle fingers parallel to each other. And you pivot slightly more weight to the thumb side and grip your mat, okay? Make the muscles of your hands work so that you can protect your wrists. Okay, so the right knee, right wrist line up. Step the left foot back. See if you can line up all these body parts in the same plane. So in other words, I'm not gonna walk my left foot in front. I'm going to place it right behind the right foot. Then I'm going to put my left hand on my hip, pushing the hip against my hand. And you try to keep your shoulder pretty much lined up with the wrist. This elbow is not pointing that way. The elbow, the inner elbow needs to point straight to that way, okay? Good. Open up through the chest. Rib cage zips up as you twist. Use your muscles to twist. Breathing in and out through your nose. And then lift the left arm up, driving the shoulder blades down the back. Good. Now let's go ahead and incorporate a kickstand. Pivot your right foot back just a little bit. See what I just did? Now you're going to press the leg up to the sky. Nice deep breath in. Stay here 5 deep breaths. Draw the sit bones towards each other so you can stabilize your body. 1 more breath. And then slowly release. Come back. Stretch back, child's pose. And then rise back up. Good. Now you're going to set up the left side, left wrist, left knee, left foot. Okay? You do your best to line things up. And my right foot would be right behind my left foot. Then I'm going to start to open up through the hips, drawing the sit bones towards each other, pushing the right foot down into the mat. So this right foot is not just lightly touching the ground, you have to anchor it. Right arm up, shoulder blades down, or you can put your hand on the hip, keep pushing the hip up against the arm. Good. 2 more breaths. Go ahead and incorporate a kickstand. You see how my left foot just pivots back just a little bit. Push into the foot. Lift the right leg up. We're here for a total of 5 breaths. So that was about 3 breaths. And then slowly come back down. Go into a child's pose, reset everything, and stay down for about 2 more breaths. And rise back up on all fours. Set up the right side again. Right hand, right knee, right foot. Then go ahead and pivot open to the side. Foot not in front of you. Line things up. Draw the sit bones towards each other. And open up. Your whole body is one straight line. Your head is not turning this way in front of you. Line up. And then bring the left leg up. Once the leg is up, press, bend the top leg, your left knee, and grab the foot. Pressing your foot into your hand, hand pulls back, and then you can go into a back bend. Little bit, navel is pulled in. Stabilize, use your legs. 1 more breath. And then slowly release. Come back. Let's go straight to the second side. I think unless you need to take a rest, you pause the video and then take your rest and come back to it. If you do go into a rest, don't rest too long because you want to keep the heat building. And then other side. Set it up. Breathing in. Everything in one line, including my head. I'm not leaning, tilting my head back or forward. Your right hand on the hip. Good. Now go ahead and pivot the back foot back just a little bit. Push into the foot so your knee is not bearing the burden of your weight. And then press up. Once you're stable here, draw the sit bones towards each other. The glutes, they activate. Bend the knee, grab the foot. Once you have the foot, push the foot into the hand and you pull back. Start to open up the front side of your body. Keep your inner shoulder blades rotated in and down the back. 1 more breath. And then slowly out of the pose, come back, child's pose. In child's pose, let's go into a prayer pose. Bend the elbows, bring your hands up. I'm pushing my elbows down into the mat, suctioning them back and suctioning the armpits. In other words, I'm not just going to go loosey-goosey and drop like a hot potato, like this, right? You want to activate, work your body. You can relax later, you can go to sleep and take a nap later. For now, it's practice time. And then slowly release. Remember the battle that we're fighting is one that's internal. Those are the hardest battles to fight. And so we need to have a little more resolve than ever. By really working the body, pushing it into its potential without being silly or foolish about it. You want to take it in small increments to build. Even though it's hard earned, it's worth it. All right, come back up. Let's go ahead and rise up into a plank pose. We're going to do jog in place this time for a minute. So let's go. You want to push off each foot, push off from the floor. So you're not using the hips. Keep doing it. You're not using your hips to pull your legs up. You're using the power of the feet as you push in to drive the legs up. Okay? You're almost there. And then release. Come into a plank, stop. Downward facing dog. To a plank and dog. To a plank and dog. And plank and dog. Plank, dog. Stay here. We're going to finally come up into a standing. Look forward, bend the knees. Try to keep as much space between your body, especially your hips, to the mat. So it's easier for you to jump up or walk up. I'm going to demonstrate walking up. Some of you can go ahead and jump. I'm using my foot to drive the leg. This way I can avoid the overuse of my hip flexors. They get really tired if you keep using them and tight. Use your foot. Push and step forward. Look, my hips are still high. I didn't drop my hips down because then it'd be hard for me to walk the back foot forward. Keep it high and then you push off the back foot to come up. You're not dragging the foot up or the leg up. Push off, push off, push. Use your feet on the mat in yoga. That way you will always get to work on your legs. Inhaling, rise up. Exhale, palms down. So when let me come back here. When I rise up, like so, I didn't rise up keeping my legs straight like this. I didn't keep it straight. I did just now just to show you, because by keeping my legs straight as I go up and down, it's a lot more work on your lower back. And if you're not very disciplined in the body, you can very well pull a lower back muscle. Instead, what am I going to do? I'm going to use my legs by bending them and pushing off, going into a slight squat position, then pushing my legs straight to come up, like this. More of the weight into my heels. Then I'm going to bend my knees, keeping my knees behind the toes, always not here, but here, okay? Over the toes or behind the toes. So to come up, I keep my back straight. Then I'm going to use the power of my legs to bring the body up. The momentum, that power has to come from the ground, from earth, okay? So look, I push, I get my arms out, I push my legs straight to come up. You see, the legs are charged. As you push, you're not working through the lower back, okay? So once you're up, go ahead. Let's do a few sets. I think my camera is not very straight. Okay, let's run through a few sets of the sun salutations. Go ahead, inhaling, arms go up, exhale, fold, inhaling, lengthen, step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga, all the way down to your belly, hands by the chest, about your fingertips are pretty much at the nipple line. Roll the shoulders up and back, anchor your shoulder blades down the back, top of the feet engaged. I'm pushing down with the top of the feet, tailbone lengthens towards the heels to help you engage the lower abs. That's important. Then pull up, cobra, and down. Use your hands, push with your legs, your feet, sorry, not your thighs, and come up and right again. Good. Now we're going to tuck the toes under, press the feet down to activate the thighs off the mat. Activate your legs so much your hips are off the mat. Now start to push with your hands. The bottom part of the rib cage here starts to lift off the mat, and then push. Downward facing dog. Inhaling, 3 deep breaths here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rise up, bend the knees. See the clearance between my body and the floor. You need that as much as you can. Now we're going to jump or walk up. Exhale, fold. Come up halfway. You can grab your toes or you can push from the shins. Try to straighten your spine, and then you fold here, starting from the hips, pressing your rib cage down to the thighs, rolling the shoulders up and back. Over time you can straighten your legs. Just try not to do this. Try not to do this. I see that a lot, and it is absolutely not useful. And definitely don't feel so accomplished by the fact that you can grab your feet here by rounding your back, because it actually demonstrates that you're straining so much in the front of your spine instead of creating that space we want in yoga. Now we're going to use the legs again to rise up. Look, keep your knees slightly bent. You're going to push by driving your feet, especially the heel part of the feet, into the mat as you bring it up. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, palms down. Sorry, my head is cut off, but you know the sequence. Arms go up. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Step back. Chaturanga your way down. Inhaling, roll up. Let me push back. And then Push up, plank pose, downward facing dog. Stay here, 3 deep breaths. 1. If this is too much, you can certainly come down into a child's pose. Let's get ready to rise. Inhaling, look forward, bend the knees, and jump up. Once I jump up, I'm going to land and quickly anchor down into my heels and not go forward into the toes. Okay, let's rise up. Inhaling. Exhale, palms down. Inhaling, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Chaturanga back. Up dog or cobra. You could, if you're ready, go do an up dog. You see I extend my toes straight. I draw the sit bones towards each other. Micro bend the elbows. Lift the chest up. And then downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. If you have hyperextended knees, stay in the pose. If you have hyperextended knees, it's very easy to straighten the legs here in downward facing dog and pop the knees out behind you. And that is really not good because you're completely bypassing the muscles. I have hyperextended joints, so I'm very careful about that. I keep my knees micro bent in my body. Inhaling, look forward, bend the knees, come up. Exhaling, fold. And then rise again, bend the knees slightly, push from your feet, and use your legs, rise up. Exhaling, palms down. Inhaling, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Chaturanga back. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. Check, make sure you're pivoting more weight to the thumb side, spreading your fingers wide and gripping your mat to turn on all the muscles in your hands. You should not see a crease line on the front side of your wrists, because if you do, you're putting too much weight there in that joint. It should just be clear of that crease line. Push more of your weight into your hands. Inhaling, look forward, bend the knees, walk a jump up. Exhale, fold, and then rise up. Exhale, palms down. Good. Now, we're going to go into a chair pose. Your feet are straight. I'm going to demonstrate it from this view first. And then your feet, toes are pointing straight, feet are hip width. Start to bend the knees. Put more weight into the heels. My knees never go past my toes because then the center of gravity is not secured and anchored into your heels to protect and stabilize your pelvis and your back. You guys be able to squat and sit onto your heels. Good. Navel pulled in, reaching the arms up. So this is a chair pose. This is a chair pose. Breathe, okay? I'm not going to go down so much. I'm just going to stay here for about 30 seconds. That's about 5 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your knees behind the toes. Squat down a little bit. 4 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat down a little bit. 4 deep breaths. 1. Put more weight into the heels and suck up the lower abs. 1 more breath. And now press your legs straight. Press up. Press through the heels to rise up all the way. Inhaling, reset through the arms. Exhaling, palms down. 1 more time. Inhaling and exhaling. 1 more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Inhaling, arms go up. Exhaling, fold. Straight back. As you come down, I'm bending from the hips. If you're tight, you might be doing this already, okay? If you're doing this already, start to bend your knees. This will give you a little bit more space to help you lengthen the spine. And we're going to start by stretching. If you're tight, you want to stretch. Start by stretching the back of your legs instead of start to bypass the legs and stretch from your backside, okay? Stretch. Come down slowly. Plant your hands down. Step the right leg back into a high lunge. As soon as my right leg, foot steps back, my center of gravity just shifted. So I can no longer put my hands here in front. I want to have my wrist always pretty much track with my shoulder. So I'm going to bring my hands back. Okay, so they're pretty much lined up here. Roll the shoulders up and back. Watch my back leg, my extended leg here. It's not dropping like this, like that, okay? You want to push into the foot, right foot, into the big toe ball of the foot. Press and activate. The left thigh needs to plug back and not swing forward like this. Pull it back. Good. Push into your front foot, into the heel, to send this thigh bone into the hip socket. Don't let it move. Keep it strong. Good. Now, hopefully you're not leaning into your front thigh. Okay, you want to make sure you're not just resting here. Activated away from the thigh, but keeping your hips flexed. Then bring your arms out. If this is too much, you keep your hands down. If this is too much, you lower the knee down. Push into the foot. You can still do this, okay? Let's not rest into the leg though and get up. We're going to just pump the arms 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plant the hands down. If you're ready, press the back leg up. If your knee was down, then let's go ahead and step it up. Watch, when I stepped it up, I didn't just drag my back leg up using my hip flexor, where my leg isn't doing anything, okay? You want to push off the back foot, use the leg, use the foot to push it forward, okay? Inhaling, lengthen, and then fold. Balance your weight more onto the heels and even across your foot. And then go ahead, inhaling, step the left leg back. What happened to my center of gravity? It shifted. So I'm going to bring the hands back. Okay, see this extended leg is super strong. And I'm keeping the front shin pretty much perpendicular to the floor. Our long bones, the long bones in the human body, they like to have that straight relationship with earth. Okay, so as much as we can, we want to keep the long bones straight, unless we're doing something very specifically to affect that part of the body. But the long bones, they like to stay in that relationship. Okay, nice deep breath in. Good. If this is too much, you lower the left knee down. Otherwise, you stay up. We're going to float the arms up. Make sure you're not resting into your front thigh. Pull the right thigh back. Push with both your feet. You're scissoring from the inner thighs. Arms up. We're going to pump it. You can use Kapalabhati breath if you like, just for 10. Good. Keep the legs strong, scissor through the inner thighs. You gotta really charge them up. Plant your hands down on the floor. Use the back foot to press the leg up. Push, push, and come up. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhale, fold. And come back up halfway. And exhale, fold. Keep the weight bearing more onto the heels. Slightly bend your knees. Use your legs. Keep the back straight. Press up. Exhaling, palms down. And press up again. And down. And up again. And down. All right. So let me step back. Now we're going to go and do some of the legs by working through the hips, standing and balancing the legs, starting with tree pose. Let's start by bringing the right leg up. The left foot is straight. So bring the foot up, right foot up. Okay, I'm going to do my best to even out my hips. Do my best to even out my hips. Okay. It's so weird looking at myself on the screen. It's a new relationship. I don't even look in the mirror every day, other than in the mornings, maybe 3 minutes. That's all I do. Every morning, not more than 3 minutes looking at myself. But I have to look at myself because I want to make sure that the recording didn't go funky on me. Okay, open up here. Good. And you want to have your hips leveled. Do what you can to have your hips leveled and your body is activated straight up. Good. Now go ahead and bring the right leg across, the shin across. Start to bend the standing knee. And you're going to go into sort of thread the needle position. And then squat into it, squat into it. The left knee is behind the toes. You put more weight into your heels. Draw the sit bones back towards each other. You should get a nice stretch in the outer hip. I know most of us are tight there. Both hips are pretty leveled. And then slowly press it up. Good. And then other side. You should feel worked in the left leg as long as you put and anchor more weight into the heels. Now let's do tree pose. Left foot up into the inner thigh of the right leg. Or you could bring it down here. Or you can even have your foot down on the floor. My hips right now, they're slanted for sure. So I'm going to square my hips and face center. And do my best to straighten my whole body. Nice deep breath in. Now, if those of you who are up here with the foot, just stay up for a little longer. I'm drawing my sit, instead of popping my sit bone out, I'm going to draw my hip out. I'm going to draw my sit bones towards each other and help to firm and stabilize my pelvis as much as I can. Okay, stand tall. Shoulders are rolled back, broad across the chest. Instead of like this, we move it broad. Keep the standing leg charged. I can feel every fiber of my muscles activate here. And putting more weight into the heel of the standing foot will help you engage through that leg. Okay, and then release. Cross the shin and place it on top of the right thigh. Bend, drawing your sit bones towards each other. Broad across the chest. You can put your hands here on your hips, or you can push onto the heel of the left foot, and then the ball of the left knee. Lengthen through the spine, or you can come down lower. Depends, right? I'm showing you how to work this in increments. Just because I show you this particular increment, you're not going to come here thinking that's best for your body. You want to feel through it. And then rise up. And plant your foot down. Okay, so let's go ahead. Top of the mat. Stand tall. Inhaling. Arms go up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, fold. Okay, your feet are hip width. Come back into a chair pose. Keep your knees behind the toes. Your body goes up instead of forward like this. We're not doing a squat this way. We're doing a chair pose. You need to be able to eat at the table. You won't be able to if your chair pose is like this. I don't know what kind of table that would be then. Like something for little people. You want to eat at the table for big people, adults, okay? Keep the shoulders down. You're going to keep your knees back, and we're going to dip a few times here for 30. Inhale, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Press up. Palms down. Inhaling, reset. Exhaling, palms down. One more time, reset. Exhale, palms down. Good. Inhaling, arms go up. Exhaling, full from the hips. Plant your hands down. Go ahead and step the right leg back and lower the knee down. Watch my foot, my right foot, toes point back. And you want to push down into your mat from this part of the foot, okay? Scissor from through the inner thighs. Push down, anchor down with your left foot, and a little bit more into the left heel. Good. Your hands are not here. Bring them back. Push. Activate your body away from your left thigh. Good. Now I'm going to push into my front thigh and bring my lower abs away from the thigh. Lower abs away from the thighs. Kind of hard to see. Sorry for the production. I'm still trying to figure it out. But at least you could see enough to be able to still have a good practice. Now, as I pull and work on my opposites, I'm pushing, anchoring my foot down and stabilizing through my leg into the hip. Then I'm using my hands, they're my leverage here, to prevent my body from collapsing forward. I want to pull up and away. Inhaling, arms go up. Keep the shoulders down, and then lower your hips down and send them forward. Lower your hips down and send them forward. Breathe. Go ahead and reach your arms back, interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders up and back, and squeeze your arms. Stabilize your hips by really engaging into your legs. Scissor through the inner thighs, push with your feet. Those of you who want to get the leg workout, this is it. You get plenty of leg workout as long as you remember that you need to engage from the legs. Even here, we're not kind of just resting into it. We're engaging the muscles into a good stretch. And release. Let's go ahead and sit back into a half split. I grab one of my blocks if I'm tight. Then I put my block underneath my left sit bone to sit up straight. And this may not feel like beginner yoga class, but I think if you slowly work into it, you don't need to be able to do 100% of what I'm showing you. All you need to do is maybe 10% to start with. Then you add another 10%. Then you add another 10%. And it's not like 10% for every time you take the class. It builds up. Sometimes longer, sometimes real fast. Depends. Good. Now, if you're good here, of course you don't need to sit on a block. I'm only demonstrating here. But we can start to flex through the hips. When I'm flexing through the hips, my extended leg is plenty active. So as my body is folding forward, down and forward, this leg, this foot has to anchor down and plug back. You see how they work in opposites? And this becomes a pair. Breathing in and out through your nose. Lengthen through the spine. You don't need to have this block. Then you put it aside. Sit on the mat. Keep your right foot close to your body. And then you can fold. Nice deep breath in. Oh, it's a good stretch. If you keep tilting over to the left, you push harder with your left foot to keep your body centered as you go forward. Good. Let's go ahead, rise up. Come back up on your feet. Good. Press up. We're just going to walk switch or jump switch to the other side and lower the left knee down. It's the same thing. Set up your legs first. Your front shin, to start, you want to have it perpendicular to the floor, pretty much like this. Over time, when you get more flexibility, you can start to bring your knee forward as long as it doesn't go past your toes. Good. Now I'm using the hands to push my body away from the front thigh. Navel is pulled in. Okay. I'm activating my legs a lot. Inhaling, arms go up. Breathing in and out through your nose. Lower the hips down and forward. Try to pull your abs back as much as you can. Lengthen your tailbone down and then reach your arms back. Put the other thumb on top. Interlace your fingers and stretch to lift the heart. Create that expansion here. You don't have to overdo it. I don't, as many of you know, I don't like yogis who are always bending. Bendy yogis, always demonstrating how much they can bend. It actually does nothing for the general population. And it creates a false, incorrect impression as if yoga is all about back bends or collapsing into the joints. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit back into half split. Again, you can use a block. You do want to be able to express a full range of movements in your joints for the most part, but it is never taking your body beyond what a natural range would be to allow you to have good quality of life, better circulation, better metabolism, better energy flow. You do not need to take it to the nth degree. Especially most of us aren't spring chickens. We know that, right? Everything in moderation, but still, even in moderation, you can find that the potential is there. There's always potential, in spite of our age. And start to flex forward. And creating that lengthening through the crown of the head, drawing the sit bones to get towards each other and back, and the shoulders have to roll up and back. Lead with the chest, not with the chin. This is what I see often. Okay, we're not using the chin to help you extend the spine or to get you to come down lower. You're opening up the front body, stretching out the back side of the body to allow you to come down lower with much more discipline and grace. And slowly press yourself up. Okay. Get out from your block. Let's everyone just sit flat on the mat. Again, if you can't sit up straight, find a blanket, not a block, to sit on. That will give you a little bit of a raised platform for you to get your pelvis upright. Let me get to the center of the camera. Okay, so here, you want to sit tall, straight, and not like this. Okay, sit tall. Good. Hug the right knee into the chest. Extend the left leg out. As I extend the left leg out, I'm still making sure the left thigh is plugged into the hip socket. Then I'm going to sit tall. We're about to go into a spinal twist. Inhaling, reaching your arms up. And keeping everything from the waist down nice and stable. And start to rotate your body. Use your muscles to move your bones and twist to the right. My right hand comes down on the floor, not behind me. I'm not leaning into my hand like this. I'm actually going to walk my right hand in. Watch how I'm using my hand to help me create space in the spine. I push down into the floor, pushing up. Okay, and then I use my left arm as leverage by hugging my leg in to sit taller into a twist. Watch this shoulder. It has to roll up and anchor down instead of here. Don't forget the left thigh is still plugging into the socket. Then you can turn your head and look back and keep your gaze down. Please don't point with your chin. You think I can't see you, but I can. Okay, now we're going to keep the twist and just turn the head to the front. Many of you know this. We're about to go into teeter totter. Grab the outer edge of the foot and press the leg up. Sit tall. Reach your right arm back. Sit tall, lengthening up. And we're going to do teeter tottering, okay? You're going to keep your body straight like in one unit. And so when I lean back, my left heel will actively draw up. You can turn your head forward. You can turn your head back. Whatever you do, we're not straining from the hip flexor on the left side. You're using, if you plug your left thigh into the hip, when the leg is raised, you're not overworking your hip flexor. You use more muscles than just a hip flexor to keep the leg raised. One more breath. And then slowly release. Hug the knee back into the chest. Sit tall. Close your eyes for a moment. Now we're going to go to the other side. I'm not going to switch around. I'm just going to stay here so you can see what it looks like on both sides as we do this pose. And go ahead and bring your left knee in. Sit tall. Drive your shoulder blades down the back. Good. Now here, please sit tall, even if that means you have to sit on a platform, raised platform. Now I'm going to lift the left arm up, lengthening my spine, then twist to the left. The right elbow will hug into the left leg, and then I'm going to work into a twist, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. The right thigh, this right thigh has to plug back. So instead of having the thigh pull forward, you gotta plug it back to keep your bones tight into the joints. Breathe in and out through your nose. Good. Now I'm going to turn my head. Let's turn the head back to the front. Grab the outer, keep your twist as much as you can. Grab the outer edge of your left foot. Press the leg out. Good. I'm going to bring my left arm back, drawing the sit bones close towards each other. Keep the spine straight. Then I'm going to lean back, push the foot, my left foot into my hands, and then one more breath. Again, hopefully you're not feeling tired in the hip flexor. If the bones are plugged in, it's not going to feel tight or overworked, fatigued. And then slowly release. Hug the left knee, sit tall, close your eyes for a moment. Good. Now go ahead and lie down on the mat. We're going to do some abdominal work. Slide down the mat. Take my ponytail out. Once you're flat on the mat, go ahead and stretch your whole body. Point your toes. Reach your arms overhead. Entire backside of the rib cage right now is popped up. Okay, I need to anchor and glue the entire backside of the rib cage down like so, and then lengthen my tailbone towards my heels. You still have a small arch in the lower back, but it is not the same as the rib cage popping up. Zipper up in the front. Okay, have your arms down by your sides. Actually, let's go ahead for a stretch first. Inhaling, reaching your arms overhead. And then hug your knees into your chest. Gently roll from side to side. Please activate your legs towards each other as they roll from side to side. This will prevent you from straining the lower back muscles. Good. Do circles with your knees. You can have your palms down on the floor to help you stabilize the upper body. And then reverse. I'm definitely using my feet to assist my knees. In fact, our feet, as you know, who have been coming to my classes, our feet, they are the engine. the engine of the legs. Okay, hug your knees. Good. Go ahead and lower the feet down for a moment. Just rest there for a moment. If the feet are engines of the legs, then the heels are the drivers of the legs. So just think about your leg as a car. Okay, so the driver is the heel. So we're not doing the driverless thing yet. Okay, I don't think ever in yoga. You always want to have your driver there. Then you use the driver to turn on the engine. The engine will help you mobilize the whole leg. This way you're less likely to fatigue and overuse your hip flexors for everything you do. That's just inefficient and ineffective. Over time, it will cause issues. All right. Have your legs extended straight. Have your arms by your side. We're going to roll the upper body up into a cat pose. I'm pressing my chin down to the chest, so I'm going to make sure I'm not bobbing my head up and down. The chin is pressed down. Then I'm going to, as if my legs are one unit, I'm going to move them with each other. Okay, synchronized. Okay, squeeze up. Good. Now roll up into a cat pose. Pubic bone zips up, bottom of the chest bone zips down. Use your abdominal muscles, please. Your arms are by your sides to assist. We're just going to lower the legs up and down 30 times. If it's too hard for you to keep the head up, you can just rest your head down. Okay, just don't point your chin up. Okay, let's go for now. Starting now. And inhale down, exhale up. 1, 2, 3. And if your neck is still starting to feel tired, you can always use your hands to support your neck, so you're not using your neck for anything. Okay, in fact, this is what I would prefer. So this is about 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you lower the legs down, please don't feel like you're dropping them down. Pretend you're pressing a ton of weight down, and you're pressing a ton of weight up with your legs. You got about 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The lower the legs, the harder it is. 9, 10. Good. Lower your feet down. Rest your head down. Pause here for a moment. Slide the legs out. Point your toes. Reach your arms overhead. Inhaling. Keep the zipper, the rib cage down. Front of your rib cage zipped. From here, look. From here, zip down. Hug your knees. Gently roll from side to side. Good. Next might be a little bit harder. So before I show you that, let me just show you the easier way if you choose not to do the harder way. Okay, one thing you could do is, we're going to do about a minute of this. Okay, you can have your arms down by your sides, activate your feet, and just circle. Instead of working from the hip flexors right here, which will get you really fatigued and tight, you want to initiate through the feet. So I'm using my heel to control the movement, the range of movement here. Stabilizing the upper body through the activation of your legs. So you could do this, okay? Or you could just go up and down. Lift the head up or not, it's up to you. Or you can go into a half boat, which we do a lot. Keep the legs straight. Keep the upper body rolled up and reach for your toes. The only part of the body that's on the floor would be on the sacrum. Everything else curled up forward towards each other. Or the harder one is actually arms down by your sides. You roll up. You lower the legs down. Instead of lifting straight up from this point straight up to the sky, you want to pull up. Use your abdominals to curl your pelvis forward. Your legs will be still, active, okay? Treat your legs as one. We're going to do about just 30 seconds of it, whichever one you choose to do. Okay, I will demonstrate the harder one, starting from here. Rolling up, inhaling. On the exhale, pull up. Activate the abdominal muscles, pull forward and down. Squeeze your legs and up. Let's do 10 because it's hard to do time. Pull up. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Lower down. Stretch out. Inhale. Hug both knees back into your chest. Close your eyes. Plant your feet down. Go ahead and grab a block. You're going to slide a block underneath your pelvis, okay? Underneath the sacrum, right here. Position your block in such a way that it's not pressing up into your spine. The very tip of my tailbone is dipped down past this outer edge of my block. I'm not going to shift up where my tailbone is right in the middle of the block. Go ahead and shift down. Good. Now we're going to stretch out the front hip flexors in case you overwork them in the abdominal work with the leg lifts. Point your toes away from the body. Inseam of the thighs, they need to roll in and down and out. Then tailbone needs to lengthen towards the heels. I'm going to, if my shoulders are stuck close to my ears, of course we can move them because you want to create the space here on the sides and the back of your neck. So I'm going to walk my shoulder blades down the back. Okay, now reaching your arms overhead. As you're stretching your front side of the body open, you want to point your toes down and turn the inseam of the thighs in and out. Lengthen the tailbone down. Try to press the entire backside of the sacrum down on your mat. We're not popping up the rib cage right now. We're just helping this stretch. If this doesn't feel much of a stretch, then you need to bring your block up higher. Then I would flip it up to the second level height. Okay, same position. The tip of the tailbone needs to hang over the outer edge of the block. Pointing your toes. Keep the navel pulled into the spine. You see, instead of up like this, pull it in. That. Okay. Turn the inseam of the thighs down and out. Get your tailbone to lengthen. Walk your shoulder blades down the back if it got stuck up here. And then stretch. You're pressing down with the heels, allowing your legs, depends. if they're able to slide away a little bit. What's important is that you're not going to pop this up like this. Okay, pull it down, and then drive your legs away from the body. All right, and then walk your feet back in. Pause for a moment. Of course, if this height wasn't high enough, you know that your block has 3 levels, right? You can flip it to the highest level and then to do the same thing. What I would be careful if you go to the highest level of your block is not to confuse a stretch in the hip flexors, front side, with a back bend, especially when you tend to do back bend compressing through the spine. Okay, that's, again, I've already expressed my views on yogis who are always doing every single pose in a back bend. Okay, let's go ahead and lower your block 1 notch down. Oh, if you were on the flattest level by this point, you don't have a block on under your back. Now let's go ahead. If you still have a block under you, go ahead and remove it. Lie down flat. Put the block aside. Stretch the legs out. Stretch your arms overhead, inhaling. Hug your knees back in. Good. Now we're going to do 2 options to do a soft fish, which is to create more opening in the front side of the body while opening and expansion across the chest to open up the heart. So let's roll to the side to come up. Either use your blocks or your bolster. Let me demonstrate the block work. So put your block, the first one here, pretty much about 1/3 of the way down from the top of the mat, and have your other block within reach. Then I'm going to lie down here. This block would be right here between my shoulders. Okay, if you have broader shoulders, you might want to have it horizontal, but it's right beneath your shoulder blades. So I'm gonna lie down here. You don't want to have your block be felt in the neck, nor do you want to have your block be felt on the spine. So anything beyond the shoulder, base of your shoulder blades into the spine, you want to position it so you don't feel it in your spine or neck. So now I'm gonna come down here. This is option 1. If all you do have are blocks, and then you grab your other block, set it up as a pillow. Okay, so in some yoga classes, not mine, but in many yoga classes, I see a lot of students, they drop the head down. Please don't do that, especially when you're not young anymore. Okay, this is really taxing for the neck, and the blood pressure would just be all over the place. It compresses your back. It puts so much pressure into the head region. Not only that, the whole body system is not working. And the blood pressure would just be way off. So that's why I like to support my head with a block. And you can just rest here, extending the legs out straight, opening up through your arms. Okay, this is option 1. If you're already set up here, please bear with me as I explain the other option for other yogis. So if you have a bolster, go ahead and grab your bolster. Here. here. Set it here on your mat. Then you can sit close to your bolster, like right up against it. Then I'm going to have my other block in case I want some support here. So I would bring the block, or if you have a folded blanket. Okay, this is too high for my head, but you get the point. You can grab a folded blanket and put it up to support your head so it has the right level, okay? And this might give you more of a back bend in the mid-back, especially if you don't have like a nice solid bolster. Your bolster is kind of flat. The key point here is to open up across the chest, not to create more compression in your back. But if you feel more compression in your back, you gotta activate, watch. Activate the core down to protect it. Focus on opening up this area. Again, I'm sure we all have blankets at home, smaller blankets, or throws for your sofa. Roll it up, set it up here, and so when you go down, you won't be feeling awkward. Okay, let's go ahead and rest. Eyes closed. Stay down for another minute. Try to allow your eyeballs to drop into the eye sockets. And your forehead feels spacious. Your tongue is relaxed and your jaw is soft. Upper teeth, lower teeth don't touch. Very, very slowly roll off your bolster or your blocks. Doesn't matter which side you roll into, just go into a fetus pose. Use your arm to support your head as pillow. Curl up. And put all your stuff aside. Then lie flat on your back on your mat. And you're going to use this time to just rest into Savasana. Come back when you're ready. And I will leave you here. Hopefully we evoked the qualities of Durga. Remember that inner battle requires a lot for us to be able to win. But as long as we apply the effort, the discipline, using intelligence, method, and discipline, we can get there. So when you come back up, I would like you to just sit in meditation for maybe 5 or 10 minutes if that's not too much. Focus on breathing in and out through your nose. To calm you further, inhale from the left nostril, exhale out the right for a few times more. Or you could elongate your exhales, breathing in and out with both nostrils, but elongating the exhale. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.